Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to continue our NFL prediction with Week 11. And last week I had a really good week with predictions. I went 11-3, which brings my total season record to 99-53. This last week, I think the term "what is offense" because what is going on with NFL offenses this year? I feel like everyone's having struggles on that side of the ball. And watch the NFL gonna try to change rules to benefit them. But anyway, that's beside the point. This week, our teams that are on the bye are the Arizona Cardinals, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the two teams are coming off of Germany trips in the New York Giants and Carolina Panthers. They all have bye weeks this week. And we're going to start this week off with a really good Thursday night football matchup. I mean, last week's matchup lived up to the hype. Hopefully, this one can do the same. It's the Washington Commanders taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Commanders suffered a tough loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost at the last second. But do not blame Jaden Daniels because the Commanders, they did all the right things. They made plays to help win, may possibly win them the game, but unfortunately, the Steelers made the play to win the game. And the Philadelphia Eagles going on the road, beating up on the Cowboys, which I can't believe I'm going to say this, not hard to do this year. And with this game being played in the link, I'm going to say, usually I'll say the Eagles will win, but history show that the Commanders, they know how to hang very, very tough with the Eagles of all teams. So I do expect this to be a very, very, very fun game to witness. But I am going to still stick with the Eagles to win because they actually have more momentum for them heading into this week. They're playing very, very good football on both sides of the ball. And yeah, Eagles. And now we have the Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears. Packers had a bye week last week, but the last time he saw them, yeah, they did not have a good showing against the Detroit Lions, in which they lost 24-14. Granted, it was raining that game, and that hampered what they wanted to do on the offensive side of the ball. Now, for the Chicago Bears, things are looking very shaky for that franchise. Was once a decent 4 start. They have lost two straight. Ever since that Hail Mary, they lost 3 straight games, and in those 2 games, they failed to find the end zone. And they needed a change in offense, so they fired their offensive coordinator. And now Thomas Brown, a familiar name of mine, will be calling plays for the Chicago Bears. So this game, I was going to say it's going to be interesting, but it's a rivalry game, so maybe the Bears will finally find the end zone. But come on. We all know the narrative. With or without Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers owns the Chicago Bears. It's like they get 2 free wins every single year. So I think the case for this game is going to be very similar, especially since the Packers are coming off a bye week. And now we have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Detroit Lions. Jaguars losing to the Vikings, and the Lions, despite Jared Goff turning the ball over 5 times, they still won the game. And yeah, I'm gonna keep this one really brief because Jaguars are not gonna have Trevor Lawrence this game, or maybe the rest of the season. Lions shouldn't have a problem winning here. And now we have the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Tennessee Titans. Minnesota winning on the road against Jacksonville Jaguars, only needing field goals, and I'm starting to sense that the light of Sam Darnold is beginning to dimmer a bit because he's been struggling these last couple of weeks. Yes, the Vikings are still winning, but Sam Darnold has kind of regressed a bit. And then meanwhile, the Tennessee Titans, yes, they lost to the Chargers, but they showed a bit of promise in that game. I will give them that. And in this one, all eyes leans towards Minnesota. I am going to go ahead and roll with the Vikings to win this game, but I will not be surprised. Well, Tennessee, I will say Tennessee do have a chance to win, but I will say they will hopefully they could keep it a close game. That's all I can root for. And now we have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Miami Dolphins. The Raiders coming off a bye week and they desperately needed one. They got shellacked by the Cincinnati Bengals. And during the bye week, they fired their offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy. Second straight season he got fired. Maybe that's a sign to say do not hire this guy as an offensive coordinator. Meanwhile, the Dolphins picked up probably their best win of the season up to this point, getting a win on the road against the Los Angeles Rams. And it was pretty ugly, but hey, a win's a win. And with this game being in Miami, this is a get right game for them. Hopefully they could turn their season around. I got the Dolphins winning this game. And the Raiders, yeah, the sooner the season ends, the better. And now we have the Los Angeles Rams taking on the New England Patriots. The Rams, tough home loss against the Miami Dolphins, where I don't think they even found the end zone. They only kicked field goals in that game. I told you there's an offensive problem in the NFL. And the New England Patriots getting a road win over the Chicago Bears, in which they also used field goals and their defense to win this game. This one, I don't expect a lot of points to be scored. I don't expect this game to be pretty good. I think this one's going to be one of the uglier games of the week. I'm going to give the slight edge over to the Rams. Hopefully the Rams could get back right on offense. But the Patriots, they're at home. I will say they do have a shot. And now we have the Cleveland Browns taking on the New Orleans Saints. It's the Jameis Winston homecoming game. Where last time we saw the Browns, they had a bye week last week. They lost to the Chargers. Jameis threw 3 interceptions. And the Saints, who fired Dennis Allen, the next week, they got a win over the Falcons. Good for them. And Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he had a phenomenal game last week. And I think this does show signs of a tank bowl, but this could be a season-altering game for either team. Do I think these teams will make the playoffs? Probably not, but if they want a shot at a postseason berth, this game is definitely needed. And with this game being played in New Orleans, I was going to pick the Saints to win, but something in my gut is telling me to trust in Jameis Winston, and I'm going to roll with the Cleveland Browns to win this game. Which means New Orleans is probably going to win by 3 touchdowns. And speaking of the AFC North, we have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ironically, this is the Steelers' first AFC North matchup this season. Why so late? But anyway, for the Ravens, winning a thrilling Thursday night game over the Cincinnati Bengals. They really had to escape with their lives with this one. And the Pittsburgh Steelers getting a road come from behind win over the Washington Commanders, in which TJ Watt was pretty much a no factor in. The offense basically carried the game, and that's what the Steelers really want. This game being played in Pittsburgh, I know history shows that. Here's something you need to know. Lamar Jackson's history against the Steelers is terrible. Of every team in the AFC North, this is the team he struggles the most with, because either he loses or he's not playing in the games due to injury or coaching decisions. So yes, he does not have the greatest history with this team. He hasn't, if I'm correct, he hasn't beat the Steelers since 2022. No, wait, take that back. It's been a hot minute since he's beaten the Steelers. I believe it's 2019, because he was either he lost or he was not playing in the game due to coaching decision or injuries. So that's something to keep your eye on. I do expect this to be a fun game to watch, and with the Ravens, but because I don't trust the Ravens defense this year, I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth. I'm going to give the slight edge to the home team Steelers, and history will probably repeat itself for Lamar Jackson. And now we have the game that's supposed to be on Sunday night, but thank God this was flexed out. It's the It's the Indianapolis Colts and the New York Jets. And both teams are coming off of very not good performances. The Colts losing to the Bills. Flacco threw like 3 picks. He is no longer elite, sadly. But the Jets had an even worse showing by losing to the. They lost to the Arizona Cardinals, and this time they didn't even score a touchdown. A lot of teams in this last week failed to find the end zone. So yeah, last week was an ugly week for football. They're giving the Jets 4 points in this one, so that's interesting. And I've gone back and forth with this one. Part of me want to take the Colts because I want to see Joe Flacco get a win over his former team. Part of me want to take the Jets because, again, the Jets are the more talented team. And since it's in New York, I'm going to lean slightly towards the New York Jets. Keyword, slightly. And now we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Denver Broncos. Falcons suffering a tough road division loss to the New Orleans Saints. And the Denver Broncos, tough road division loss to the Chiefs, where they almost won on a game-winning field goal, but the Chiefs blocked it, and the football gods once again sides with the undefeated empire known as the Kansas City Chiefs. Lovely. And this game being played in Denver, this is one of those games that could go in any direction. Because I really don't know who's going to win this one. This is one game that I had a tough time picking. I was going to lean towards the Broncos to win, but this is one of those games I have to base off of talent. I'm going to give the slightest of edges to the Falcons to get a bounce back win. Hopefully they could rebound from last week's showing, but maybe Denver's defense could slow them down, I guess. And then we have an NFC West division matchup with the Seattle Seahawks taking on the San Francisco 49ers. The Seattle Seahawks coming off a bye week. Last time we saw them, they gave the game away against the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, the 49ers, they got McCaffrey back in just in time, and they got a win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the last second, although their kicking woes nearly held them back. Also, them wearing white socks with their classic uniforms was an eyesore on my eyes. But last time we saw these two teams, they played on Thursday Night Football, and the 49ers took care of pretty easy business in this one. And with this game being in San Francisco, I do expect more of the same in this game. But Seattle could possibly make it a better showing. It's a division game. You never know. And now we have Sunday Night Football with the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Bengals coming off a very tough road loss to the Ravens where Jamar Chase had an historic game. Too bad it was wasted by a 2-point conversion decision. A decision that to Zach Taylor's defense, I would have also went for 2 at that spot because of the defense was not stopping anything. And the Chargers, on the other hand, they got a win last week over the Tennessee Titans where they're starting to get a little momentum for themselves. In this game being played in Los Angeles, I do want to say the Chargers are going to win. But here's a fun fact. This is Cincinnati's first trip in Los Angeles since the Super Bowl that they lost. And so I know that's playing in their mind. And like I said, I was going to take the Chargers to win this game. But I'm going to lean towards the Bengals to go on an offensive shootout route. And I'm going to say the Bengals going to win this game. I don't know what it is, but that's just a feeling in my gut feeling. And now we have the Battle of Texas, where two teams are playing underwhelming football. We have the Houston Texans taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Texans blowing a 23-7 lead at home to the Detroit Lions. And for a 4th week in a row, Stroud gave me single digits in fantasy football. No, I'm not bitter about it. And meanwhile, the Cowboys, look, they're just a waste of breath at this point. Another home blowout loss. Teams in disarray. Locker rooms lost. I'm going to keep this brief. Texans should should win. Nico Collins possibly coming back this week. Dallas, you see the trash can, read it. And finally, the big game of the week. Why this game is not on Sunday night is beyond me. But it's the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Buffalo Bills. A rematch of the division round matchup that the Chiefs stole. Actually, in all honesty, the Chiefs won it fair and square. But the Chiefs last week beat the Denver Broncos on a blocked field goal, which kept them undefeated. But the Buffalo Bills, they beat the Indianapolis Colts. They struggled a bit in the first half, but they were able to cruise to an easy victory. And I've said this about the Chiefs, and I say it again. This team is overdue for a loss. They are not playing their best football. The defense is pretty much carrying this team on its back. And I'm not saying Mahomes is having a bad season by any means. I mean, yes, he's turning the ball over at a higher rate. But the Chiefs aren't the Chiefs. Something's telling me that this team is overdue. And I said it again. This team is overdue for a loss. And with this game being played in Buffalo, and Buffalo was on a 3-game winning streak with this team in the regular season at least, I'm going to go with the Bills to win this one. Hopefully, Amari Cooper comes back in this game. And James Cook, hopefully he could find some holes in this Chiefs defense for him to run through. And possibly, because I know this game, if the Bills want to win this game, it cannot be Josh Allen by himself. I'm just going to put it out there. So, yeah, I'm going to roll the Bills to win to give the Chiefs their first loss. But let me say this. If the Chiefs get out of here with the win, I don't see anyone else stopping them. I'm just going to put that out there. And that concludes this week's predictions. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Gamble safely. And I'll see you next time.